I would like to welcome all of you for this conference session. Today's class will be given by His Grace Gaur Nataraj Prabhuji on Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.28. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you are there on the call?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for giving your association, Prabhuji, and giving your valuable time. You can please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I'd like to give a little introduction of Gaur Nataraj Prabhu, if you don't know.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
His Grace Gaur Nataraj Prabhu is joining us from Nevada, so he's 2 hours behind, so it's early morning for him, and we thank him very much. Prabhuji is into Krishna consciousness for decades. He is a full-time preacher. He was in New Vrindavan for many years and spearheaded a yogashala in New Vrindavan. Now he's taking charge of a new temple coming up near Las Vegas, Radha Govinda temple, which is almost complete. It's going to be inaugurated next month. And Prabhuji is very well versed in Ayurveda and Jyotish Shastra also. This is just a little bit of his qualifications that I know of, and I beg my forgiveness. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Damodaranand Prabhu. So, actually, the Vaishnava's only qualification is that he is he takes the most lowest fallen position. So, as the servant of his Guru. So, it's a great honor, and thank you for keeping this Japa conference alive. It is the enthusiasm of devotees to come together, and it is said to make Bhagavatam very inspiring. Both the speaker and listener both have to be very enthusiastic about listening. And it's 4:30 here in the morning, but the most wonderful thing is there are so many Vaishnavas eager to hear. That makes you very inspired to speak, and I was very inspired by Damodaranand Prabhu and all these devotees coming together here. So thank you for giving an opportunity to speak, although very unqualified. I will try to present some tattva from this. Like Bhakti Vikas Maharaj was saying, there is a paradox. A Vaishnava never considers himself a guru or a teacher. But without becoming a guru or a teacher, the parampara will not continue. So it's a paradox. So you have to do it in a very humble way. So today we are doing Bhagavatam 3.33.28. So first I will chant the Mangalacharan, and then I'll read the verse and we'll continue. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, verse 33 and text 28. So, this is a very, very beautiful verse talking about the spiritual beauty of the Kardama Muni's wife, Devahuti. Taddeha parata kosho api akrasaschadi asambhavat babho malair avachannaha sadhuma iva pavakaha. So, tat dehaha, her body, parataha, by others, the damsels created by Kardama, poshaha, maintained, api, although, akrishaha, not thin, cha, and adi, anxiety, asambhavat, from not occurring, babhav, shown, malaihi, by dust, avachannaha, covered, sadhumaha, surrounded with smoke, iva, like, pavakaha, a fire. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: her body was taken care of by the spiritual damsels created by her husband Kardama, and since she had no mental anxiety at that time, her body did not become thin. She appeared just like a fire surrounded by smoke. Purport: because she was always in trance, in transcendental bliss, the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead was always carefully fixed in her mind. She did not become thin, for she was taken care of by the celestial maidservants created by her husband. It is said, according to Ayurvedic medical science, that if one is free from anxieties, he generally becomes fat. Devahuti, being situated in Krishna consciousness, had no mental anxieties. Therefore, her body did not become thin. It is customary in the renounced order of life that one should not take any service from a servant or maid, but Devahuti was being served by the celestial maid servants. This may appear to be against the spiritual concept of life, but just as fire is still beautiful even when surrounded by smoke, she looked completely pure, although it seemed she was living in a luxurious way. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani, Namaste Sarva Devi Gaurana Pacharne, Nirvisheshi Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi, Gaur Bhaktavranda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, here we see that this verse is describing the spiritual beauty of Devahuti. And it is said that since she had no material anxiety, her body did not become thin. She appeared just like a fire surrounded by smoke. So, when one is burning in a fire of spiritual cultivation, so this fire is an internal fire. Just like we eat food, right? So when we are very hungry, there is a fire. And this fire digests everything. So similarly, we see that just like sunlight, when sunlight heats up even very dirty place, just like somebody urinates in public or outside, it's very dirty. But because of sunlight, that place becomes completely purified. So the fire of pure spiritual life burns away all the impurities that we have within us. And one of the impurities that we have, one of the traits that a person has is anxiety. So one of the biggest causes of anxiety is worry about the future. We are always disturbed by our past. This is why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, very clearly he explains that the symptom of a self-realized person is that he is free from the thoughts of his past and free from the thoughts of future anxiety. So Krishna, when Arjuna asks Krishna, Chita Prajnasya ka bhasha, and he says one who is completely free from sense gratification. And then in the end, when he explains the symptoms of a self-realized soul, he says, Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Na shochati na kankshati. So, na shochati means he is not worrying, lamenting about the past. Na kankshati means he is not worried about the future. This is a really difficult state of Brahman to achieve in our life. Now in Mahabharata, for example, we see how Ambalika, the three sisters were being kidnapped by Bhishma Deva for marriage with Shantanu. And later on when they were rejected, Bhishma Deva refused to marry them because Bhishma Deva was a Akhanda Brahmachari Vrata. So then Bhishma Deva was cursed by these Ambalika, and she became an Amba, she became Shikhandi in the next life just to become an instrument to kill Bhishma Deva. So if you do not purify all the revenge and frustration that you have in your heart, all the anger that you have in your heart, then you are sure to get another birth. You are sure, because every desire that you have within your heart, until you give up completely all these anger, three things we have to give up: lust, anger, greed. Completely, if they are not purified, then you are sure to get another birth. So therefore, if we want to really become free from the cycle of birth and death, so we have to reach the Brahma Bhuta stage. So the symptom of the Brahma Bhuta stage is that one is free from lamentation and one is free from anxiety of the future. Then what happens? Samat sarveshu bhuteshu. He is seeing everybody equally. Samat sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. And when you see everybody equally, that's when you attain pure devotional service to Krishna. To see even the enemy, to see even your friend on the same platform, spiritual platform. We may have difference in dealing, but our spiritual vision, we do not differentiate between the enemy and the friend. This is a very, very difficult state to achieve. So, the symptom of a self-realized soul, first of all, begins with sense control. So, therefore, when Krishna is asked by Arjuna, Sita prajnasya ka vasha samadhistasya keshava sitadi kim prabhacheta kim asita vrajeta kim. So, Krishna explains, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sita prajnasya dochyate. So, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. So, one who is able to control his senses when the sense objects are present. So, that when the sense objects are present, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha. So, he is happy. Atmanyevatmana tushtaha. He is happy within himself. So a self-realized soul is happy within himself. Within himself means he realizes very clearly he is not the body, he is spirit soul, and he is fixed in that concept. And not only that, he is completely concentrated on the soul within. Right now we are so bodily conscious, that even when we chant, we are externally conscious. To be internally conscious, one has to actually give up, first of all, at least give up. That is why when you chant, we need to depend on Krishna. So when you depend on Krishna, you are giving up all your frustration, anger and anxiety to him. When the mind is being pushed in a certain direction because of lot of anxiety, frustration, then there is no question of focus on Krishna. So a self-realized soul means he has given up all such anxiety and he leaves everything to Krishna. Everything, completely surrendered. So, that situation comes up to completely give up all your anxiety when you are situated in the self. When one is completely realized in the self, either you are situated completely in that knowledge, you act based on that knowledge. So, we have to act based on our spiritual knowledge. Just like when somebody realizes that service to Krishna is absolute, you don't mind even cleaning the temple, cooking in the temple, cutting vegetables in the temple. People are eager to do some menial service because we know by doing menial service, one attracts the attention of Krishna. By attracting the attention of Krishna, gradually when one's mind is free from all material thought process, by the blessings of the Lord, your mind is free from all mental material thought process. So then you can actually meditate on the soul. The real object of meditation is the relationship between Krishna and the soul, Krishna and Atma. And that comes in the association of devotees. So here in this case, we clearly see that by the association of Kapila, and not just by association means to hear. So Devahuti heard from Kapila Deva his teachings. So Kapila Dev was an incarnation, is an incarnation of the Lord himself. And he came to teach us the process of pure devotional service, pure bhakti. And because Devahuti listened heard Kapila Deva and asked Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. So she asked relevant questions. Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Jnanam Jnanina Tattvadarshinaha. Of course, Kapila Deva was the Supreme Lord himself, but he was also the Guru. And he explained the process of Bhakti Yoga perfectly to Devahuti. And just by listening to him, just by hearing him attentively, she became free from all anxiety and her mind became very, very completely free. So this is the result of listening. This is the result actually of listening, hearing from a pure devotee, from the Lord himself or the pure devotee. Just like Arjuna said in the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Nashta mohaha smritir labdva. All my misconceptions are gone. Nashta mohaha. All my material attachments and anxieties are gone. Smritir labdva. Now I am remembering my relationship with you and I want to act based on that relationship. So that is very, very important for us to realize. So similarly here, in this case, after listening from Kardama Muni, so Devahuti also became completely free from all doubts in her heart. See, all the doubts are within our heart, because what happens is, for example, in our heart, from many, many lives, from many, many births, there are a lot of material desires. You can categorize again, coming back to the basics, into lust, anger and greed. Desires, anger, so there is some frustration that my desires were not fulfilled. So lust means that desire. When that lust is not fulfilled, it leads to anger. Anger then leads to destruction. So even greed, when it is not fulfilled, when we are greedy, so that also leads to anger and that leads to destruction. So this is there in our heart, and which is called as Hridaya Granthi. Hridaya Granthi means there is a knot. There is a knot, and this knot prevents us from opening our hearts completely in the service of the Lord, because this particular desire is sitting within our heart, either to gain name, fame, either to enjoy something. So everybody twists and turns according to his needs and desires, rather than the desires of Guru and Krishna. So always Krishna has a plan, Krishna has a desire that something should be done in a certain way. And through the medium of a pure Guru, perfect Guru, he instructs the disciples that something should be done in a certain way. But because of our inability to realize, understand, and interpret or follow, either at any one of the stages, either to understand what the Guru says, to interpret and understand clearly, or to have the intelligence to execute. Once the Guru gives you an instruction, to have the desire, first of all, to execute that desire, that strength, or to have the intelligence to either know about it but not being able to execute. So at different stages, depending upon our different levels of being conditioned, being averse to Krishna, we do not execute what the Lord says. We are not able to execute it very clearly. And because of that, our spiritual cultivation is incomplete. is incomplete. So, the Srimad Bhagavatam, when you hear from a pure devotee, it says, Vidyate Hridaya Granthis. So what happens when you hear from a pure devotee? Vidyate Hridaya Granthis. So your granthis, your knots within the heart, they are pierced just by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Just by hearing the Bhagavat from a pure devotee of the Lord, the knots of the heart are removed, the knots of the heart are opened. And gradually, as the Srimad Bhagavatam begins to pierce your heart, just like we hear in the Brahma Samhita, that when the Lord played his flute, and it entered the ears of Brahma, the sound entered the ears of Brahma, it became Kama Gayatri. But all that Brahma did was by the power of his tapasya, because he was freed from all sin and he was free from all unwanted material desires, he knew that everything else is going to bind him, situated in complete knowledge that spiritual life is the only goal of life, situated in complete spiritual knowledge. Brahmaji, with a complete surrendered heart, he let his ears open just to hear the beautiful sound coming from the flute of the Lord. So when such a sound entered his ear and then entered his heart, this knowledge became revealed within his heart. The Kama Gayatri was revealed within his heart. The Gayatri was revealed within his heart. So when you completely lend your ears are the gateway. The Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord's names, holy names, the Srimad Bhagavatam, they are the purifying agents, because Srimad Bhagavat is also non-different from Krishna. The holy name of Krishna is also non-different from Krishna. So in one way, if you allow the holy name to enter your ears, if you allow the Srimad Bhagavatam to enter your ears, and just allow them, just let them do what they have to do. Just take the mercy, because we in ourselves are very fallen. And the only way to get the complete mercy is to simply surrender. And simply surrender means without any material conceptions, giving up all material conceptions and ideas, just letting the holy name, just letting the Srimad Bhagavatam purely enter our ears and pierce our heart. So when we let that happen, then gradually you will see your heart will become purified. Vidyate Hridaya Granthis. So your heart will be completely purified. And when your heart becomes purified, that reflects on your faith. So we see even materially people say that faith is an index of the mind. Faith is an index of the mind. So when Srila Prabhupada used to look at his disciples, when the Hare Krishnas used to go around in town doing kirtan, so people used to say, oh, they are so bright. They are looking so bright. So people are looking so bright. So this brightness is not because of the skin color. So this brightness is because of the reflection, because it is said the soul is like millions of suns put together. The brightness of Atma is like millions of souls, or 9 souls, 9 suns, or millions of suns. So there are like 9 or 10 suns, the brightness of one soul, somebody said. But anyway, the soul is very bright, but this body is very dull. And the more we try to display the body, just try to make it, put makeup and this and that and all this so-called material beauty, it may appear nice, but it is not spiritually beautiful. That spiritual beauty is something very, very different. So here, Devavati, because she had heard the Srimad Bhagavat, what is presented, Kapila Dev's teachings is given in the Srimad Bhagavat. So what she heard was also the teachings of Kapila Dev, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. And she heard this with a pure heart, because first of all she was detached completely. Her husband has left. Kardama Muni has already left. So she is already renounced. So when it is said the wife should be under the protection of the son, when the husband has left for, and there is a very beautiful reason why Kardama Muni left home. Kardama Muni, although his son was a devotee, was the Lord himself, not just a devotee, was the Lord himself, that is Kapila Deva. But the reason Kardama Muni left home is to be an example for the future, because future people may say, oh, my son is a devotee, my son is a incarnation of the Lord, so why should I go outside? I can do bhakti at home. But to exemplify the quality of detachment from material life, but to exemplify the quality of detachment from material life, we have to, Kardama Muni actually left home. And in his absence, so they followed Varnashrama perfectly. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, if I don't follow the rules, the whole society will be in danger. So exactly here we see that the Lord inspires Kardama Muni to follow Varnashrama and he goes and takes up Vanaprastha and leaving sannyas actually, and leaving his son Kapila Dev to take care of his mother. But Kapila Dev does his duty. According to Varnashrama, of course, he is supposed to take care of his mother. But when the mother becomes self-realized by his teachings, a self-realized soul, she is a completely self-realized soul, but of course, we understand that she is protected by the heavenly damsels who are living with her, who are taking care of her like her maid servants. So she is protected. She is taken care of. So he leaves her in the complete care there. And although it is said that one who is spiritually advanced or renounced, he does not take service from a maid. Because when you are spiritually advanced, you become very humble. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmani gavihastini suni chaiva shopakecha pandita samadarshinaha. So vidya vinaya sampanne. So what is the result of knowledge? Vinaya sampanne. One should become very, very humble. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmani gavihastini. That even if you see a brahmana, even if you see an elephant, even if you see a dog, even if you see a cat, whatever, tree, everybody is Atma. Everybody is Atma. You see everybody on that equal platform. So that is the quality of a person who has knowledge. One who has knowledge, he sees everybody on a spiritually equal platform. So, what is the result of that? Brahmani Gashuni Chaiva Sabhake Cha Pandita Samadarshinaha. So, he sees on an equal platform. So, a devotee of the Lord, when he sees everybody on an equal platform, then he cannot consider somebody lower and according to dharma, take service. But when somebody's nature is to give service and the husband has the husband, that is Kardama Muni, has entrusted her with so many maid servants, Devahuti took service because, of course, she took service because the husband had entrusted her, and the duty of the wife is to follow the husband. Yet, even when you are living in luxury, like she was living, Devahuti was in a lot of luxury. She was taken care of by Swargaloka. Even the people in Swargaloka were envying what Devahuti had. Yet she was completely detached from that. That other day I was seeing somebody shared something on WhatsApp, and there it said, who is that? There was a famous actor, I think Jim Carrey. So Jim Carrey, the famous actor, he says, I think we should allow everybody to fulfill their desires, to become rich, to get all the money they want, to enjoy as much as they want, to the maximum, and to find out in the end that this will actually not lead to spiritual happiness. This will actually not lead to real happiness, he says. He did not say spiritual, but he said this will not lead to real happiness. So, those who are fortunate, so when people are all looking for happiness, so in this material world, people come up with their own philosophy when they are not able to find this happiness, when they simply suffer. So, they are not able to find happiness, therefore they take either they go into Tamoguna or either they can come to Sattva-guna. Because people are generally in Rajoguna. For example, we find that most people, after working, we find TGIF, right? Today's after workplace, people go to parties. Thank God it's Friday. So people go and they drink. Why? In Tamoguna, you want to forget the suffering you are undergoing and have a false imagination. People want to live in imagination, hallucination. Ramanujacharya says, in this material world, people can be happy only in one place. That is not America. He says that place is dreams. So the only place people can really be happy is actually in your dream. Because in dream you can imagine anything. You can imagine anything. And you can be comfortable in that dream. You can think of anything. You are this, you are that, and you are enjoying. Just like you can imagine some person that you want to take revenge of and completely think of him in your mind and completely keep cursing him, completely keep scolding him, completely be happy in your mind without actually having done anything. So it's all in your mind. But in the end, you really realize that in the end what it is affecting is your own mind. So why don't you just give it up? But to give up is not easy as well. Even if somebody wants to come out of it, even that is not easy. So how do you actually come out of it? So the real way to come out of this difficulty, to come out of this situation, is only by systematically, sincerely, with full heart, hearing and listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam by a pure devotee. What will transform within your heart will then be natural. It will be natural. The transformation of your heart will actually become natural. So we have to come to that point in our life where we realize that the most fortunate person is the one who understands, realizes that Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate scripture, and that all I have to do is sincerely, what we say in Hindi, adhyayan karna, to study it systematically, because Bhagavatam is designed in such a way from the start to end, that is to purify your mind. That is called as Bhagavat Yajna. It is also a Yajna. It is the hearing, the Yajna of hearing, the Yajna, the fire is within the heart. And when you put this ghee of hearing and the fire within the heart keeps burning, it burns away all your lust, anger, greed completely. And by the end of the hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam, one completely realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart. Because the heart becomes completely purified, the Lord is situated within there, he becomes completely free from all anxiety, and he becomes completely beautiful. So just like here, fire, fire, wherever there is fire, there is smoke. So wherever there is fire, there is some smoke. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada explains very, very clearly that whenever there is smoke, there is fire, there is smoke, still the fire looks very beautiful. Although there is some smoke, the fire looks very beautiful. So similarly, the beauty of Devahuti, because she is spiritually situated, because you don't find somebody spiritually situated living in an opulent, very beautiful place. So Devahuti is living in such wonderful, opulent conditions. Yet she is so beautiful, because this beauty is completely spiritual. And this complete beauty, opulence, is not affecting her spiritually. Just like Krishna in the example in the Bhagavad Gita, he explains that kings such as Janakadeha. So Janaka is the father of Sita. Of course, all the kings in that generation, they were all called Janaka. So just like we have somebody's surname, right? Just like Rao or something, Ram Rao, Krishna Rao, Rao. So Janaka is also a title. So this Janaka was also an example like that, where he was a king. A king means opulence. So king means opulence. Yet they are called as Raja Rishi. So a king, so just like Shivaji Maharaj, he fought for Dharma. So similarly, Janaka Maharaj lived in a family life, lived an opulent life, but their mood was completely one of detachment. That is why, because Janak Maharaj was a pure devotee of the Lord, that is why Sita Devi was born to him. Because the Lord only comes when somebody's heart is completely pure. Just like we see, when Krishna was born to Devaki, her first 6 sons were killed by Kamsa. And who are they? It is explained in the scriptures and by the acharyas that they are Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. Although there is a story behind the birth of the children, but these 6 children are supposed to represent Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. That is lust, anger, greed, attachment, madness, and envy. So when these 6 were gone, then Balaram came and in the womb of Devaki made it ready for Krishna to appear. So Balaram comes and makes it ready for Krishna to appear. And after that, Krishna appeared in the womb of Devaki. Although it is said he appeared in the heart of Devaki, in the mind of Devaki, but yes, even that is her womb. And he appeared there. So until and unless one is completely free, the Lord will not appear. So similarly, free from all material concepts and anxieties. So similarly, we see number 1, the first one was Janaka. The second one is also Ambarish Maharaj. We see Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was such a pure devotee of the Lord. When he was being harassed by Durvasa Muni, still, although he was a mystic yogi, very powerful, yet because of his remembrance of the Lord, this mystic yogi, this Durvasa Muni, could not do anything. That is the situation today. So we realize that the heart is the seat of the Lord, and you are present, the Atma is there. But right now, the Atma is surrounded by this material mind, and right now we are completely in anxiety because the 3 modes and these 3, lust, anger, greed, they are playing with the mind. They are giving us jerks. The lust is just saying, oh, you have not achieved this, you have not enjoyed this. Anger says, oh, this guy is yet to be finished off, you have yet to fulfill your anger. And your greed says, see, how to become a billionaire. So everybody is becoming a billionaire, So why don't you become one, So these are constantly playing on us, and depending on the guna, the rajoguna, tamoguna we are connected to, they keep playing with us. But only when, so that is why we chant. In the morning we say, Samsara Dhava Nalalidha Loka Tranaya Karunya Gana Gana Tvam Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vindam. So Guru comes and gives us this knowledge which douses this fire. And our heart becomes completely free. Gradually, this is like a burning, raging fire, completely making us jump, making us active. So that is what is called as Rajaguna. You see, in Facebook, you will see a lot of videos. People are driving very fast. They are trying to get in the trains in Bombay. Everybody we have to live our life. We have to make our... So you have to. But that Rajoguna, in the end, you fight. But so many people in this rat race, they have to die. So many people die of rail accidents. Many people die of heart attacks, this, that, living such a life of anxiety. But when somebody surrenders unto Krishna, just like Mragari, we find this Mragari, when he was a hunter and he met Narada Muni. In short, Narada Muni instructed him, do not kill animals, and that too in such a horrible way. Mragari said, then what will I do? He said, no, just simply surrender. He said, go chant, go open an ashram and in the outskirts of the city, in the outskirts of the forest, and make an ashram and start worshipping the Lord. Then people started coming with all dakshina. So he got, so whatever he needed, Krishna provided. So similarly, if we are sincere devotees, whatever we need, Krishna will provide. When I was very young, I used to, in India, I used to watch television, and I used to always like this advertisement by LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, because their symbol was Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Since Krishna is carrying, there is a beautiful story to exemplify this. So in that story, we find that Gita Panda, there was a Gita Panda in Odisha, and he was reading this verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, that I preserve what they have and carry what they lack. So he said, how come Krishna will carry? Maybe he can send it through somebody, right? Why will he carry? So he put a line on the Bhagavad Gita, on that. He struck that verse with a line. He said, this is not possible. How can Krishna carry? So, when that happened, he went out somewhere, and after some time, two young boys entered his house. He was a very poor man. There was nothing in his house, no grocery, nothing. All of a sudden, two boys come with a lot of grocery, a lot of food and everything, and they come and they tell his wife, oh, your husband has sent us with all this grocery. She's shocked. How come you have so much grocery for us? So she sends all that. Your husband has sent all this grocery, and we have to empty this very quickly. And they show on their back there is a line. So there is a line on the back. So this wife is completely shocked. Oh my God, how do you get this line? Who whipped you? She said, your husband whipped us. He hit us in the back. Oh really? So she is completely shocked. He said, if you have to deliver this very quickly. So they delivered everything. But she said, oh, I'm feeling so sad. Two young children, please wait here. I'll cook something for you. And of course, they had something little bit, and they immediately after that they ran away. So this husband comes back to find out, to come and see, and there is so much at home. There is so much rice, sabji, dal, whatever, everything is there at home. And he's like, who brought all this? How did you get all this? So the wife says, oh, you sent two boys. Says, two boys? Yes, you sent two boys. And they had also a whiplash. In the back they had a line, because of your hitting them. And I'm so sad. So then he begins to think. And he asks them the description of the two boys. And then she says, one was black, one was white. And immediately he understands with the yellow dhoti and beautiful peacock feather, this is none other than Krishna and Balaram. Immediately he goes and opens the Bhagavad Gita and he very struck. So the Bhagavad Gita is actually the body of Krishna, and when he struck that verse, actually he struck the line that he made on the shloka actually came on the body of Krishna. And therefore, Krishna, so therefore, Krishna gives himself to his devotees. So, because Krishna Bahirmukha Jeev Bhogavancha Kare, we have turned away from Krishna. We have turned away from Krishna. That is why we are suffering in this world. We have rejected Krishna, and it's a mutual thing. We have come out here. And the only way to be accepted back by Krishna is to surrender unto his devotee. Only by the agency of the devotee, Krishna accepts us. Only by the agency of the Guru, Krishna accepts us. And we should be considered the most fortunate. We should be considered the most fortunate only when we get the association of a pure devotee of the Lord who can give us the practical realization and import of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We have to get the practical realization and import and purity from the Srimad Bhagavatam through the agency of a devotee, by hearing from a pure devotee. And we can see here that Devahuti, because she heard attentively, sincerely from her son, her beauty was enhanced. And although she was living in such material opulence, this material opulence actually never affected her. This material opulence did not affect her. She was free from all anxiety. And Srila Prabhupada says, usually when somebody is free from anxiety, he becomes a little fat, he becomes very happy. So we should see that a true yogi is never too fat, but he is never too thin. He is very balanced. So one should have a balanced body, balanced mind. It is that the body is a reflection of the mind. So if your mind is if your mind is healthy, then the body automatically becomes healthy. So the diseases of the body, chronic diseases, are a reflection of in today's world, because people are chronically sick mentally. That is reflected in the body. There is not enough rest. Always anxiety. So to become free from anxiety, the most important thing that we should have in our life is a proper relationship. It is said, when people who lived longer, when there was a survey done, one of the things they had is they had a purpose of life and they had long-lasting, happy relationships. So basically, if people do not have anything more to do, they don't want to live longer. We see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, although he was a Naistika Brahmachari, he left his body at the age of 62 very quickly, because he saw there were too many neophyte disciples. And whatever he came for, whatever he wanted to import, of course, give the knowledge he gave. Of course, Srila Prabhupada carried it on. He understood. So, basically, proper relationships and proper purpose of life makes one's life meaningful. And in spiritual life, spiritual relationships make us free from anxiety. Because if you are always getting the right advice, right guidance, right what we need to do in a right way, then we become definitely free from anxiety. And that is the way to become healthy and happy. So just like Devahuti, although we may be living in any place in this world, and today, of course, sense gratification has been made so easy. The environment has been made so rajasic and tamasic. It's very easy to enjoy sense gratification and make ourselves dirty, not beautiful. Because once you enjoy materially, your mind becomes so degraded. So always keep ourselves in association and in strong relationship. You could live with the devotees without having any relationship, means without having been really connected with each other. So the key to spiritual progress is strong relationships. In that way, love and respect for each other and proper spiritual realization. This is what will make us beautiful, happy. So just to recap, the symptoms of a self-realized soul is free from Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na Sochati na Kankshati. He is not in lamenting, he is not in anxiety. So Devahuti is reflecting this trait. Na Sochati na Kankshati. She is not in anxiety because she is completely fixed in Krishna. She is always thinking about Krishna, the Supreme Personality. She is completely free from all material anxiety. And she is completely fixed in Krishna. So that is her main point of success. And Samat Sarveshu Bhuteshu, not just people but even to opulence. So she was so opulent and she had so many maidservants, but she did not think they are maidservants, I am enjoying this and that. Oh, this is my material opulence. She was completely free from that kind of enjoying mentality because she was completely fixed in the conception of the self. And because she was fixed in spiritual life, in meditation on Krishna, she was looking very beautiful. She was looking very beautiful. Sadhumaha, just like Iva Pavakaha, just like although there is smoke, but the fire looks very beautiful. So similarly, all of us, Srila Prabhupada said, all of us are, when we become connected to Krishna, the spark becomes ignited. And this spark, this shine reflects in every devotee. And you can see a devotee is, internally he is very happy. If he is actually well situated along with other devotees in proper guidance, then he becomes successful in life and beautiful in life. Hare Krishna. So I will stop here. So any questions or comments or anybody would like to comment something, please let me know. Thank you very much for giving me this service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class. I liked your first instruction that we should not lament and we should not have an anxiety for the future. It's so difficult, but you always give the solution or the method how to achieve this, to hear from the pure devotees. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such wonderful instructions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. So, and in the service of Vaishnavas, are there any questions which we can refer to?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada and Guruji. Thank you very much for wonderful class. Thank you very much for your assistance. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj. A very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained, and like we need to follow the footsteps of Mother Devahuti, how she got renounced with all her material opulence, and she was completely engrossed in Krishna's service. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. You have explained everything. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, I have a small question. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji,
Yes.
Very, very beautiful class and very inspiring also. Can you give some of the explanation? Means you are doing so many services and then doing preaching, sadhana, everything, take caring, house means everything is like a very exemplary. Can you give how you are balancing means in such a way? Can you give some explanation, Prabhu?
It's actually the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that's all. There is, if we always consider ourselves, the main thing is we see that the inspiration for a preacher only comes when somebody is inspired by your preaching, when you see the results. And that is given by Krishna. That is given by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So you cannot continue to be a preacher until and unless you feel that whatever you are speaking, doing is in a mood of service and it is inspiring to others. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that inspires others is within their heart. Paramatma is inspiring. So when you realize you are not the doer, that this is an opportunity, I like to teach, I like to speak, I like to teach. This is the only thing. But this is also Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy, that you are able to talk and then you are able to cultivate different devotees. Just like we see all the Maharajas in ISKCON, very senior, very serious, because they are surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. Whatever they are speaking, it influences others. So that inspires you. And when you are inspired, you can actually do more than what you can do, more than what you ordinarily you can do. So spiritual life is always about being inspired, and that gets the best from you. And spiritual life is also finished by Vaishnava aparadh. So if we keep ourselves away from Vaishnava aparadh, and if we keep ourselves well situated in devotional service, and the very important point, like you said, balanced, not overdo things. Balanced means sometimes what happens, we can see, for example, Radha Govinda Maharaj. He is such a pure devotee. Today he is completely immobile. He gave himself up in the service of everybody. He was simply traveling, doing katha for the benefit of everyone. And everyone was inviting, and he did not take time to heal his body. He was completely one after the other. He was going from one place to other. But such a wonderful devotee. Unfortunately, he pushed himself so much, then he had this stroke. And because of this stroke, today, we feel that such a wonderful devotee who could do so much, So we feel, of course, he is such a powerful devotee that when Ramdev Baba told him, I'll cure you, he said, I don't want to be cured by a Mayavadi. Better I remain like this. So when your devotion reaches such high level, then you don't care about what happens to your body, what happens to you. But of course, when you are in family life, that is one example of completely surrendered, where you don't, anything that happens to you, you are fixed, your nishtha is fixed, anything that happens to you. So Krishna puts you through different tests, but at the same time, whatever you are doing, we should ensure that we follow three principles. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says health, sadhana, service. So always keep your health proper. Means the most important thing is have good sleep, rise early, sleep early, rise early, chant in the association of devotees, read, hear properly, eat healthy food at right time, And as we keep on doing this in a balanced way, over a period of time, we should not be in anxiety, we will progress or not. Just keep doing and automatically everything will come. So always keep balance with health. Do only those services which you are capable of. Don't take too many things and then everybody will criticize you, or he's not doing, he's not balanced, this and that. Just become very clear, this is what I can do, and be very humble that this is what I can do, this is how we can, or always take help. So very important to reach out and communicate. So this will come as we learn over a period of time. Gradually over a period of time, we will be able to learn from our mistakes, from others' mistakes, but then we should be situated in Sattva-guna to act in proper knowledge. So I would say Srila Prabhupada has given us the platform, and we should always, and has given us ISKCON, has given us everything. All we have to do is take proper guidance and be very sure that I should take slowly but surely, we are progressing and everything will come together. We should be firmly fixed in that. If we just hang on, and one important thing you will see, that those who kept their health proper, were 3 things we ask in Vedic life when you take blessings. Ayusham, Tejam, Arogyam. You need 3 things. Ayusham, long life; Tejam, intelligence; Arogyam, good health. If you have these 3, everything else will come. Always focus on keeping good healthy lifestyle, because my preacher always said, my Shiksha Guru always said, we should become marathon runners, not sprint runners. Means keep your energy for a long time. So slow. Don't try to become big Maharaj within 2 or 3 days. No. Let it evolve to whatever extent. You don't have to be anybody, but you have to be happy within. That is the most important thing. When we try to be somebody else, then we are finished. So the biggest balance is to focus within, keep ourselves steady, keep ourselves ready for a long run. We are not Radha Govinda Maharaj or any other Maharaj. So if we remain humble and keep ourselves small, then there is no problem. We will definitely become successful. Hare Krishna.
So much, Prabhu. It's a very, very practical for us. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very, very beautiful answer, Prabhuji. And it's all the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all the devotees and Krishna. We are able to do preaching, and also thank you very much for speaking about Radha Govind Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So any other questions or comments, Prabhu? Okay. Yeah. So do we stop here? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. And we look forward for your more classes, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
To Prabhuji and all the Vaishnava. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu.